Hey guys, I have COVID, so let's make a video. So I'm Megan, welcome back to my home library. I can't even go to the actual library even if I wanted to because one, it's not ready, and two, I have COVID. Like, I have a fever as we speak, but it's just a low grade fever, but I still feel really terrible, so I just have to sit, and I'm not good at just sitting. So I thought, you know what, I could at least film a YouTube video. So hopefully I don't expend too much energy because I'm supposed to be resting right now. Okay, here's what I thought I would do. I'm going to make a whole video series where we dive into all the books that BookTube has made me read and if I actually like them. Do I actually like the books that BookTube has made me read, or am I better at just picking my own books in another way? Because I'm starting to think that I don't really like BookTube books at this point, and I'm really curious to see if that's the case. So here's what I thought we'd do. At first I was going to do every book that BookTube made me read until I realized it's a lot. So let's break it down into genres and do different videos. This will be the fantasy video. We will have different other genres, and then we'll also have a middle grade. So there are no middle grade fantasies on here, just young adult and adult fantasies. So I'm using Canva because the tier ranking website is frankly just awful. I hate it. I've never figured it out. I feel like I lose everything I ever make on there, and it's really hard to do. So basically here, I mean, you can just go to Canva and search tier ranking template. It's really nice. And so here are my categories. BookTube darlings for a reason. That I thought that they truly should be BookTube darlings. Okay, then we have hidden gems that I actually think are really good and should be hyped even more on BookTube that I don't hear enough about. Enjoyable reads, they were okay. You know, they were fine, I get it. And then I think they were just overhyped. I don't get it. I really do think it's not even that great of a book. It shouldn't be that hyped. Or like, okay, I see why it's hyped for other people, but it's definitely just not for me. And I think we're going to have to probably, you know what, let's just go ahead and copy and paste this right here. Because you know what, as I was putting the books on here, I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot right here. Now, I will say I did not include every single DNF that I have. In fact, I included very few. I think there was like 1 or 2 DNFs. I only included books I pretty much finished or finished most of to be able to have a, you know, pretty full opinion on. So yeah, not all the DNFs are on here. And these are all the books I've read since joining BookTube. And then they start from the beginning, from 2020 all the way to like just last week. So these are in order that I read them, which is cool. So I just thought, yeah, let's do this little audit and let's see how it goes. Okay, like I said, my goal is to see, you know, do I actually like these books? Have I maybe found some hidden gems? Has it been worth it? And what, you know, just what have I learned out of all this? I think that's the key. The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. Don't kill me. We're just going to put it there and move on. We know my thoughts and feelings on Brandon Sanderson. Except for a couple books. We're just going to go ahead right away and just put we got Mistborn and The Way of Kings right there. I think they're overhyped. I don't think they're very good books. I don't think he's a great writer. But that's a whole other story. Middle Game by Sean McGuire. I don't even think it's like super overhyped. I mean, I don't really hear too much hype about it, honestly. But I did not enjoy it, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in overhyped. Not that it's super hyped. It's not like, you know, Fourth Wing level of hype or something. Oh, The Diviners. You know, I really enjoyed The Diviners. The Diviners. Not as many people talk about it as I think they should. I'm going to put it in hidden gems. I gave it 4 stars, so it's not that it was like perfect or anything either, but I mean, it was really good. I liked it. It was young adult. Priory of the Orange Tree is not crazy hyped. I mean, it's obviously somewhat hyped, but it's where I heard about it was on BookTube. I'm going to put it in enjoyable reads. Yeah, I think that's where it should go because it was fun. It was fine. I think I wound up giving it 4 stars, but I would not say it's a hidden gem or anything like that. Shadow and Bone. Overhyped. Oh gosh. Yeah. Not that it's not for me. I don't think it's very good. Kings of the... Oh, and you know what? I'm going to throw Six of Crows in there too. I read it right around the same time. I'm going to say Six of Crows, overhyped. Don't get the hype. And I don't think it's just because it's not for me. I don't think they're very good books, especially Shadow and Bone. Kings of the Wild. Enjoyable, kind of. I don't even know if it's overhyped. I don't know. It was just okay. We'll put it in enjoyable, sure. Legendborn. Either overhyped or not for me. I'm going to say not for me. I did not like Legendborn. In fact, I DNF'd it, but I counted it because I'd read a lot of it. Oh, A Darker Shade of Magic. I'm going to say this one's a BookTube darling for a reason. Not all Victoria Schwab, but a lot of it. In fact, the sequels I did not like, but I loved A Darker Shade of Magic. It was one of my favorite books I'd read in years when I first read it. So, in fact, I cannot figure this out. Whatever, it doesn't matter about these lines. Okay, back down here. 10,000 Doors of January I read because I saw people talking about it, and I don't even know that it's super hyped. I'm just going to say was not for me. House in the Cerulean Sea is a BookTube darling for a reason. This book was amazing, and I cannot believe I enjoyed a book like this because it's just not the kind of book I would normally read. Okay, Ray Bear is young adult, and this one I'm going to say is a hidden gem. I only read it because one person said that it was Game of Thrones level of world building for a young adult book, and I totally agree. Loved the world building more than anything in that book. And I would give it a hidden gem. I think more people need to be talking about Ray Bear. Sibling of Sins, I'm going to say enjoyable. Like, the second and third books, I love the second book. I totally understand the hype. I think it's a BookTube darling for a reason at that point. The first one, I mean, it was 3.5. It wasn't quite as good as I expected. Empire of the Vampire I put on here because this book is overhyped and it's ridiculous and it's one of the worst books I've ever read in my life, and I didn't even make it very far, and I'm gonna reread it as part of a vlog, like a comedy vlog, to be funny, to read you some of it's like Hot Topic. It's Hot Topic in a book is what I say. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I don't necessarily think that this one was bad. I just don't think it was for me, so I'm gonna put it in not for me. Also, I tried the audiobook. I think if I'd read it physically, you know what, I'm not gonna count these next two. I didn't read enough of Queen of Blood or Nature of Witches for those to really count. So, yeah, I don't even know why I put those on here. I DNF'd them pretty early on. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is a BookTube darling for a reason. Yay! One of my favorite books of all time. Vicious and Darker Shade of Magic are amazing. I love Victoria Schwab so much. Kingdom of the Wicked. I actually did make it through it. Is it hyped a lot? Is this a hyped book? If it is, it's overhyped. If it's even hyped at all, it's overhyped. It's not very good. Well, I'm just going to say not for me. No, I'm going to say it was not for me. I did not continue the series. Ooh, Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. Not amazing, but better than I expected. So I'm going to go ahead and say enjoyable, although I did not continue this series. It was just okay. I don't think only like one person was really talking about it very much on BookTube. Assassin's Apprentice. Overhyped. It is boring as I'll get out. Did not continue the series. Nettle and Bone, I think it needs to be talked about more. Like, I've heard a few people mention it, but they never say like glowing things about it. They're like, yeah, it was pretty good. I think it's a hidden gem. I thought that this book was amazing. I would love to read it again. I think it is my favorite T. Kingfisher book. Ooh, Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire. BookTube darling for a reason. Is it a BookTube darling? I mean, the people that I do know that talk about it love it, so I'm gonna go with yes. That book is amazing. I love that series. There are a few that I'm not as fond of in that series. It's the Wayward Children series. I love it though. Love it. Books 1 and 2 especially. Okay, Poppy War. Ooh, enjoyable or overhyped? Oh, overhyped. No, enjoyable. The first the first half where she's at the actual training school, I liked. Then when it gets to where she's not in the training school and there's like a war and stuff, I didn't care for because it just went somewhere totally different than where I thought it was going to go. But since the first part was okay, and the first part was like 5 stars, and the second part was like 3 stars, I'll put it in enjoyable, but I did not continue the series. Actually, I think I tried and I just didn't like it. Legends and Lattes is definitely going in overhyped. Not that it's not for me, I think it's overhyped. I don't think there's really anything that special about it, and it's kind of boring. Starless Sea. Oh gosh, not for me. I mean, overhyped also, but I guess some people like that. I get it. Some people like meandering stuff with no plot and just all atmosphere and good writing and flowery language. That's all it is. There's really nothing going on anywhere with the plot or characters or anything like that. So if you just want it to sound cool but not really mean anything, that's the Starless Sea for you. Oh, The Library at Mount Char. I've only heard like 1 or 2 people ever talk about this book, so it's a hidden gem. It is possibly my favorite. It's my favorite fantasy standalone of all time. So, and one of my favorite just books in general of all time. So there we go. We are going to put that in a hidden gem. Okay, then we have The Bear and the Nightingale, which I made like 93% of the way through. That's really bad if I made it 93% through. I'm going to say it's not for me because it was more kind of like historical and very kind of like a Russian setting. The fantasy element wasn't really at the forefront. I'd almost say it's not fantasy, really. I mean, I don't even honestly remember the plot to be able to say that for sure, but not for me. Okay, next is Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Better than I expected. Should it be talked about more? Maybe. I'm going to say it's a hidden gem. I mean, not as good as like Library at Mount Char or most of these other ones, honestly, but it was really good. Like, it was, I think even say more than enjoyable. I really, really liked this book and highly recommend it. I think I gave it 4 stars. It's kind of a fantasy romance too, which was wild, like kind of a cozy fantasy romance. So yeah. Okay, Last Tale of the Flower Bride. Enjoyable, I guess. Kind of overhyped though, because I mean, let's be real, it wasn't anything special, but some people love it, so whatever. Once Upon a Broken Heart, enjoyable. It was enjoyable. maybe kind of even a hidden gem. I do hear people talk about it some though, but yeah, I mean, it was fine. I actually kind of liked it more than I thought I was going to. Carnival, ugh, definitely just not for me. I am not into carnival stuff, which I should have just went ahead and not even tried to read it, but because I liked the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and I hear that the Carnival series is something you're technically supposed to read beforehand if you want to get a full picture of like the world and stuff. But no. did I make it through it? I think I did, but it wasn't very good. House of Salt and Sorrows is, I'm going to say, a hidden gem. People need to talk more about this book. It was so good. Like, I know people do talk about it, so maybe it's a BookTube darling. I guess people do talk about it a lot. So it's a BookTube darling for a reason. Or so is, I don't know, they talk about Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches quite a bit too. Maybe we'll move this up here. These are BookTube darlings for a reason. Yeah, they're actually really, really good. Okay, yeah, I kind of forgot that category existed. Does anything else go there that I forgot about? No, I think we're good there. Okay, Fourth Wing. Everybody's going to be shocked to see it's a BookTube darling for a reason. Love it. Loved Fourth Wing. Gave it 4 stars. Couldn't make it through the sequel. Made it halfway. Couldn't make it. I was bored out of my mind. Because once the characters get together, I just don't care anymore. And they're trying to make up conflicts, and no. Okay, The Art of Prophecy. Enjoyable, I guess. Like, it was fine. I don't even know if I'd say enjoyable, but I don't really think it's overhyped either because it's not very hyped. Definitely not a hidden gem. And it really is for me. It's my kind of story. I'm just going to say enjoyable read. That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon's more of a romance, but Goodreads listed it primarily as fantasy, so we put it on here. And I'm going to say it's overhyped. No, or not for me. No, overhyped. I don't know. Or enjoyable. It was just okay. I think I gave it like 2.5 stars, so it's not really enjoyable. Overhyped. Wasn't as great as it sounds. Okay, we're getting towards the end here. Malevolent 7, overhyped. It's not really even very hyped, but the people that have hyped it, I do not agree. I think I DNF'd it. Did I DNF it? Did I make it through it? No, I think I made it through it, but I wish I DNF'd it. I did not get the hype for this one. It was, or maybe I just put them that it's not for me, but it is the book that should be for me. If it should be my kind of book exactly with the humor and the cast of characters and they're, kind of morally gray, I should have really liked it, but did not. So, okay, Bad Gods, should have liked it, but didn't. So we're going overhyped. Wow, I thought I'd need a lot more of the not for me's, but it looks like I'm going to need a lot more of the overhyped. God Killer. This was a kind of just slow-paced, weird fantasy that I should have known was not for me. Did not enjoy God Killer. So going with no on that one. Starling House. Not even enjoyable. I don't know. Not for me. I should have known because I didn't like 10,000 Doors of January either. So why? I mean, literally, it's right there. Why would I like her other book? Should have known. So maybe the not for me ones, I've learned my lesson. Like, I wouldn't even try. Encyclopedia of Fairies. Overhyped. No, not for me. Not for me. Too cozy. Should have known it wasn't for me. Okay. Tress of the Emerald Sea. Book darling for a reason. My one and only Brandon Sanderson book I've ever enjoyed or even finished. Loved it. There we go. Loved Tress of the Emerald Sea. The narrator, so fun. The Book That Wouldn't Burn, I'm going to say is overhyped. Overhyped. You probably can't even see this anymore. I'm probably like in the way of it, so I'll try to help you see it here. But I'm going to say Book That Wouldn't Burn. I didn't even quite finish it. I made it 53%, but that was a lot of hours listening to the audiobook. Overhyped. Didn't get it. Don't think it's that great. Legacy of Ash by Matthew Ward. Now, I didn't really hear that much about it, but I mean, it is like epic, kind of high fantasy. I should have known. It's not really for me. Should have known. Daughter of the Pirate King. I read this because I heard somebody say that she's like a female Jack Sparrow, and they're right, and I'm going to say it's a hidden gem. This book needs to be talked about more on BookTube. It's so good. Loved it so much. And I love how none of these are even. Doesn't really matter, but love Daughter of the Pirate King. Love the sequel. The third one doesn't need to exist because it's not really even in the series. It's really just a duology. Hey, 4 books down. 4 books to go, I should say. Shadow of What Was Lost. Overhyped because I don't think it was very good writing. Like, it just, and like nothing about it was good. I don't know why people like that series so much. I mean, yeah, maybe technically it also wasn't for me because it's not, it's epic high fantasy that I'm not a huge fan of, clearly. The Raven Boys, I've realized is better than I expected. The Raven Boys is the one that I wound up rereading and really liking after DNFing the first time. Reading it physically really did help. So I'm going to put it in. It's a BookTube darling for a reason. I liked it. I gave it like 4.5 stars. Not a huge fan of the rest of the series so far, but I'm on the last book, so we'll see if it maybe takes a turn here for the better. How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying. I'm going to say enjoyable. It's been around BookTube a lot. Overhyped. Probably. But it was fine. I loved the style. It was very Deadpool, like the comedy of it and stuff, but I didn't really care about the actual plot. So, but I like the writing. And then the last one is the Delegate Dream Department Store, which is not anything like I expected it to be. And I'm just going to put it in enjoyable reads too. Like, it was fine. It reminded me of The Alchemist, but like with dreams. I don't know. It was like little short stories almost set at this dream department store that sells dreams. And they all connected obviously, but there wasn't really an overarching plot at all. Like, there was no conflict. There were just some characters doing some things, and that was about it. So, all right. Conclusion time. What have we learned? Well, I did like more than I thought. I mean, BookTube Darlings for a Reason and Hidden Gems are all really good books. There were originally 49 books on this list. I took 2 out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 out of 47. What is that math on that? Okay, basically 30%. 30% of the books that I have read for BookTube, I have really, really enjoyed. That's not too bad. That's probably not horrible. And then I've enjoyed some of the rest of them, some of these more than others, but then a lot have been overhyped. But hey, look, we did not need this other not for me category. Didn't even need it. Just delete that. So enjoyable and then overhyped and not for me. So yeah, there were a lot, but should I know now what I don't like? I think so. I think I'm kind of seeing patterns here about, you know, epic high fantasy, fantasy romance, things that are kind of more like historical in nature, or don't have anything else going for them, young adult fantasy, fantasy romance, basically those types of things. Although, I mean, I do think some of them I probably should have liked, but I didn't. So anyway, if this was interesting to you, let me know down below if you want me to continue the series. I really, really want to. I want to do like all the sci-fi books, the mystery books, the romance books, that kind of stuff, which this one's going to be the biggest and the longest video because I've definitely read more fantasy books because of BookTube than any other genre, but I needed to divide it or else this video would be like an hour long. So, and whereas I do have COVID, I probably need to go and rest and not be doing videos like this. So I'm tired. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.